Hello, welcome to my alternative channel, Anti-War. And on Anti-War, we have Stone Cellars, Cabernet Sauvignon, 2015. 2015. That's 8 years ago at the time of this recording. There's the Stone Cellars mansion. In other words, the Franzia family thing. All right, family-owned vineyards. So it says since 1893, established 1893. I'm like, they've been having Stone Cellars since 1893. It seems hard to believe. So I started researching. Now we go on the trademark thing. Stone Cellars. Let's look that up. Wine. First used in January 1st, 1982. Probably when they told the U.S. government we're going to start using it. On January 1st, 82. They said, okay. Bronco Wine Company. They were the original registrant. Yep, 1982. So you telling me they operated without a trademark for 90 years? No. No. We'll explain that. Here's Bronco Wine Company home, the trade assets. They make a Cabernet Sauvignon, a Chardonnay, a Merlot, Pinot Grigio, Pinot Noir, Sauvignon Blanc, White Zinfandel. Now let's go to the straight website, Stone Cellars website. Merlot, Pinot Noir. I'd like to try them all. I'm sure they're all good. You see, what it really is the Franzia family started. They arrived in the United States of America in 1893, and they started a wine company called Franzia. You've all heard of Franzia. They mostly make those box wines in the plastic bag in a cardboard box, which I've tried one of them, I think, a pink one, rosé. It was pretty good, in fact. But, the family gets so big that some of the people branch off and make their own company because so many people can run it. So 1974, the younger brothers broke away and created Bronco Wine Company. And they still own it today. But they're old. Like you look at the photos on their website, they're young, like 1974. And now they're like, oh, I'm so old. And you say, don't joke, you'll be that way one day. Well, let's hope. You never know what's going to happen. Okay. Pinot Noir, Merlot, and Cabernet Sauvignon. That's their three red wines. There you go. I got this a liter and a half at a local store on deep discount. So I said, well, $5.99 or whatever it was, $6.99. I think it was $6.99. I said, I'll buy it. What the heck? White wines. Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, Pinot Grigio, Riesling. Oh yeah, Riesling. That's that German style. Pink wines. Rosé and White Zinfandel. I like those. My neighbor across the street said White Zinfandel is for people who don't know how to drink wine. I'm like, wow, what a statement to make. He said, I'm pretty sure you know how to drink it. They just, swallow it. But, that's that kind of wine culture mentality. If you drink White Zinfandel, you are so gauche. Cuvée Brut. Cuvée Brut. A cuvée, that means it's a mix. A mixture. I bet you I like every single one in that lineup. I bet you I would like every single one. our story. Well, they're not giving you the full story. Stone Cellars, founded in 1893. Wrong. Not true. But yeah. And it goes on. Our grapes are grown from our family vineyards. That's true. Franzia family. Their goal is to achieve the optimal level of flavor and balance. Every wine company says that. Mogan David says that. That cheap $3.99 wine. Our goal is to, put out the best wine for the hobos. But you know what I'm saying. Like, they gonna say it's the best. I don't know the best of what, But I mean, even that's not terrible. Like, you would think it's gonna be terrible, but it isn't really. It's obviously low brow. Talking about Mogan David, the MD 2020. It's pretty low brow. Got all the different flavors at the store, at the convenience store. The blue raspberry. I mean, that's what we know what it is. Okay, but it still doesn't taste bad. Like, if I thought it tasted bad, I would say it tastes bad. They're kind of fun. They're like fun kind of. You know what I mean? Not serious. That's cool. But these are more serious, but they're cheap. Serious and cheap. Press and accolades. These awards are going on 10 years. They haven't won any awards lately. Don't blame it on the scamdemic, because your last award is 2016. What happened? Y'all gave up? I had seen Stone Cellars around. I'm not going to pretend like I was paying attention to it. I don't pay attention to wine. I buy whatever I can find, and usually for not the highest price. Let's see if they're close to me. If you go to Walmart, you spend the rest of your life trying to check out every wine they sell. They're saying no locations in my town. Maybe that's why they got it for discount. Dorgnac's, Two Tony's Restaurant. That's just a house wine. Overcharge. You can pay $8 for a glass of a bottle that costs $8. So really, the only grocery store got it is Dorgnac's, and they have a lot of obscure wines like Taylor, New York County wine. Nobody else sold that. Not anywhere else in New Orleans. Oh well. Now, what other wines does Bronco Wine Company make? Let's see. Go to their home. Yes, I am over 21. Their portfolio. They got a wine brand called 1749, Four Hearts. Oh yeah, I didn't taste this yet. 55 Cartas, 6 Degree, Animus, Albertoni, Allure, Infusions, Almusant, Weingut, Anselman, Ballet, Baron de Chartrand, Beritage, Bear's Lair, Big Guy, Bibio, Black Opal, Blanc de Bleu, red and blue. White and blue. Brady, Brunom, Cacciata, Camp Crush, Carmenet, Cedarbrook, something number 8. It's too small to read it. Oh, cellar number 8. Century Cellars, Chateau Clairac Bordeaux, Chateau de la Roche, Claire de Lune, Claude de Nuit, Vouvray, Coastal Ridge, Coastal Vines, Colores del Sol, Contamasi, Cottonwood Creek, Crane Lake, Daffodil, De La Costa Sangria, Dialed In, Domaine Laurier, Domaine Napa, Douglas Hill, Estrella, Falcone, Fat Cat, Forest Glen. I've seen those. Forest VA. Fort Ambrone 4, Foxbrook. Seen that. Garnet, Gloria, Grand Cru Vineyards, Gravel Bar, Grove Ridge, Hacienda, Harsty, Harlow Ridge, Heritage, Hooks Bay, J.W. Morris, JFJ, Katana, Kokumi, Komodo Dragon, Kurosawa, L plus I, La Katrina Cocktails, Le Fleur, Renaissance, Laurelwood, Laurendo, Laurier, Longevity, Medrano Estate, Messer del Forno, Montpellier. It just goes on and on. I mean, you could spend your whole life with just these people's wines and you're not going to ever run out. Tropic Mist, premium wine spritzers. It sounded like a wine spritzer. That's why I clicked on it. You know, one of those wine-based products. Yay Gaki Sake. Yep, sake. Yep, it looked like sake. Well, you know, I guess they don't own all these. They must just collaborate with the companies. Yeah. The Little Penguin. Okay, well, oh, Australia. Okay, so they collaborating with people. I get it. Okay, but anyway, anyhow. How does it smell? It's dark and it's old. This wine is 8 years old. Is it nasty? Is it rancid? Nice alcohol. It's 12 and a half. Now, the current website showed 13 and a half. I guess it used to be weaker. They've strengthened it. I let my daughter smell it. She said, "Ooh," but she thought it smelled terrible. She was like, "We don't drink these cheap store wines." She's like in some craft wine club or something. I said, "Oh well." Cabernet Sauvignon is kind of pungent anyway. I'm saying this to myself. It's kind of strong, you know. Smells meaty and beefy. Ugh, I couldn't drink too much of this stuff. I don't care who's making it. All right, taste. Woo. Grape skins. It's like dry. It's so dry it make you want to drink. It's like velvety dry. It is dry. Jean-Pierre Beverage Ramble would like it. He likes dry stuff. He said, "I can't stand that sweet stuff." Heavy bodied, chewy, dry finish, grape skins, grapes. Whoa. Boy, if you drank too much of this and got sick, I feel bad for you because you would be in bad shape. But the chances are you wouldn't drink too much of this. It's just too dry and heavy bodied. It's a sipper. Like, I don't ever drink this much in a day. I already had 2 ounces with my lunch. This is just extra filler for the extra channel. This channel, anti-war overflow channel. It's nice, but I have all these Rock Creek wines that I got. Same day, that store closed out everything. It was like $2.99 for Rock Creek, and I was like, what the heck? So yeah, it was fine, but that's the point. But there's not much else to say about it. Does Franzia make good wines, or different branches of the Franzia family? I'm pretty sure they do. They've been doing it in the United States since 1893, and they were doing it, I think, in Europe, Italy, before they immigrated. So it's supposed to be some kind of mystery, like wine. Like you have to really know about it to understand it. Well, I don't know about it. I don't study it. I buy it. I try it. They all taste good to me, mostly. Do I have I run across some bad ones? Belt is too tight, maybe. Okay. I haven't really run across any bad ones, to tell you the truth. Yeah, it's all right. That is all right, man. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's Cabernet Sauvignon my favorite style? Nah, not really. I rather the light ones like, oh, don't even say it. Don't say White Zinfandel. Don't say Rosé. I won't. I like Merlot, Merlot, Merlot. Hear people say that, Merlot. Merlot, yeah. I'm not really super deluxe interested in wine, honestly. That's why I drink 2 ounces a day. It's about all I can tolerate. That's my juice. But I mean, yeah, it's all right. It's fine. It's not the greatest, but it's fine. Wine is fine, but you know what? It's quicker. But I'm not a big drinker. But in that party sense, you know what I'm saying? In that we going wild, we getting crazy sense. 'Cause people ask me like, you remember when you were in college? What did you do to get over hangovers and all that? I said, when I was in college, I didn't even drink alcohol. I just started it in 1996, really in '94 with different dessert wines. I just started as a hobby, just to try stuff. I'm not into that drinking party lifestyle. I'm just not into it. I'm not saying, oh, I'm passing judgment on you. You should have not done that when you were 18, or 19. I'm saying I'm talking about me. I just didn't care for it. It just didn't appeal to me. Whatever. Um, it's like guns. People are like, aren't you into guns? I say no. I have no interest in weapons. I'm probably the most liberal gun ownership person you ever met, as far as like in the classic liberal sense, like least restrictive, more for everybody everywhere, like that kind of thing. Like I make the Second Amendment look like it's too strict. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of thing. But libertarian, that's more libertarian than libertarian type of approach. But but I have no interest in them. I don't care about them. I don't go to a range and practice. I don't look at calibers, talk about chambers, velocity, or anything. I just don't care about it. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm not a real American, but I don't care about it. About it. Thomas Meadows 75 says, hello, Ron. Hello to you, Eric. You're off for work today, or you just anti-gun? Did you hear what I just said? I just said I was the most liberal gun approach on earth. And I mean in the classic liberal sense, like no restrictions, non-regulatory. Um, I was shocked the gun people with my permissiveness, but you know what I mean. But I said it was not a hobby for me. I have no interest in it. Like if you start talking about weapons to me, about calibers and velocity and range, and I'd be like, oh, I wouldn't know what you're talking about. Like if you're talking about golf stars of the 1930s, I'd be like, I heard of his name, but the right to bear arms, correct? The right to bear arms. I wasn't actually bringing that up to make a gun right stance. I was just bringing it up as an example, as like I'm not interested in wine as far as like a hobby. I try different styles and different brands just to do it. But to say I'm interested and I'm a wine enthusiast would be a joke, a pathetic joke. But I try things and they're usually nice. So you can see where I am on the bottle. It's getting low. Bottom 20% now. That's all right. Got those rock cellars. And they're also from the Franzia people. I don't know. Maybe they pulled out of our market to a large extent with maybe they just wanted to keep some of their more high volume stuff on the market. I mean, on our shelves here. Uh, oh, um, but anyway, if anybody wants to see any liquor that I bought this week, You know what I mean? Whiskey. I'll show it to you. If not, cool. But I did buy a new whiskey. Ever review Thunderbird or Night Train? Night Train Express got canceled before I could review it or purchase it or review it. Night Train Express got canceled. It's no longer made. E&J Gallo said we're going to drop it. I guess even the bums stopped buying it. Thunderbird, I think it's gone also. It might technically be available in a very limited sense, but I think Thunderbird is basically, 10 years ago, 2013, everybody sold Night Train Express and Thunderbird. I just think they cut it out. Once they acquired Logan David and MD 2020 and of course, once they acquired that, I think they lost. Oh no, that's the wine group, huh? Oh yeah, once they acquired Wild Irish Rose, the big competitor of the cheap, sweet, kosher wines. I think once they acquired Wild Irish Rose, they just did like kick Night Train off the shelf, and they kicked Thunderbird off the shelf, which is sad because those were classics of the dark corners of America's cities. Just listening while working from home. Oh, I got you. So last chance, if anybody wants to see any whiskey I bought this week, going once. Any whiskey I bought this week, going twice. Any whiskey I bought this week, gone. Okay, so never mind. But I did buy a new yes on whiskey. Okay, now this is not a premier brand, but it's not a super cheap either. It's like a lower middle class. Okay. Wrong room. Oh, can't remember where I put it. Let's see. Oh yes, I remember now. I wanted to put it in this other cabinet, but the neck, this thing has too tall of a neck. So it wouldn't fit on the shelf. And I was like, where am I going to put this? And then I was like, over here on this other big shelf, the wooden shelf. And I said, oh, I forgot I had made space. So it fit right there. Perfect. So this was at that price. You better remember where it is. No, at this price, I could forget it and it wouldn't matter. But I got it for $15, $15.99. It was $15.99 plus tax. It was like $17 and something. It's called Ezra Brooks. Turn off the lamp. Ezra Brooks straight rye whiskey. That means it's aged at least 2 years, and it's new oak barrels. Can't have any coloring added to it or flavoring. From Lux Road Distillers. But let's get it to focus. Come on, focus. I watched Wild Card Wednesday. I had never had any of those beers, but sometimes I do have the beers that they're bringing. I'll be like, I had that beer. Now it finally focused. One time I said, I have that beer, like I have it in my house. There's Ezra Brooks, green. You ever notice rye labels always green? It's like light beer's always blue. Um, it's got this tactile finish like real fine sandpaper. Ezra Brooks, genuine American made. That's great. Straight rye whiskey aged in new charred American oak barrels. Well, that makes sense because rye whiskey has to be aged in new barrels. So that's a redundant statement. It would be illegal otherwise. Distilled and aged in Indiana. Indiana. I thought Ezra Brooks was in Kentucky. Well, yeah. Bottled by Ezra Brooks in Missouri. Missouri. It's Lux Code Distilling actually. But the funny thing about this is the people they contracted with in Indiana, Midwest Grain Products, who makes a ton of rye whiskey. I mean, they make rye whiskey through the roof. About half the rye whiskeys you buy at the store is made by them. It just they bottle it under their own private bottling. But Midwest Grain Products bought Luxco. They bought Lux Road Distilling. They bought them out. They bought them from the Lux family. That was their last name, Lux. 90 proof, bottled at an honest 90 proof as opposed to a dishonest 80 proof, I guess. Ezra Brooks straight rye whiskey provides a spicy finish and is charcoal filtered for an unmistakable and unforgettable mellow flavor. Charcoal filtered. That means they drip it through this big, tall cylinder of charcoal to take the impurities out, like to do with Jack Daniels. A genuine straight rye whiskey made using the finest ingredients. Well, naturally, every liquor in America does that. They all claim. For generations, Ezra Brooks whiskey has been the whiskey for those with a rugged spirit and a taste for adventure. Sure. I've never had Ezra Brooks, actually, of any of their products, but one day I'll get to this one. So, age 24 months. Boy, that's what you call following the minimum requirements. Age 2 years, which is the minimum allowed. It's funny. Okay. Ice beer is always black label too, right? Ice beers, except for Ice House, it's blue and red, right? And silver. Old Ezra 7 would be nice to try someday. I saw that coming to a store yesterday. Yesterday, I was at a store and that showed up. Old Ezra, 7-year aged. Well, that won't be $15, I'm sure. But I'm starting may as well start at the lowest end of it. So, right, if I'm gonna do an Ezra Brooks rye, let's go with the low end. Then we'll go to the 7-year later, right? Just like the like the Jack Daniels rye and the Jim Beam rye, they make higher grades. But let's go with the low grade to see if the higher grade is nicer. It probably is, right? But this was 15. I think it's actually a little bit more at other stores. I'm gonna check the prices. I was looking for Old Overhaul, really. The new Old Overhaul hit the market this year, age 4 years. Because Walmart's still carrying the 3-year aged. But the guy at Ricky's Liquor in Kenner, Louisiana, he was like shocked. He was like, "What is Old Overhaul?" He couldn't spell it at first. Old Overhaul. Old. I said, old. He got that part, old. I said, over, O-V-E-R, over. He said, over. I said, halt, H-O-L-T, halt. Old Overholt. I said, right. He said, oh, I never heard of that. He said, is it allocated? I said, allocated? Like specially, sent to certain stores. I said, no, I can get it at Walmart. I was telling him I can get it at Walmart. Oh, he said, oh, I'm going to have to look into this. I'm thinking, you own a liquor store. You like literally either he owns or he works there at least. You look like the owner. And you don't never heard of Old Overhaul? That's pretty common. But anyway, is Weller common in Louisiana? Oh, yeah, very common. Well, the local store, Mathern's, had a big bourbon sale today because Father's Day is coming up for Sunday. And so Mathern's at exactly 7 a.m. this morning, they had people lined up. I mean, lined up. I wasn't lined up. I got too much bourbon now. But they were buying Blanton's, $64.99. Oh, they were buying Eagle Rare for $36.99. They were buying Heaven Hill Kentucky Straight Bourbon. I think a 12-year age. It's like I never heard of this Heaven Hill brand. I mean, I heard of Heaven Hill, obviously. I got a bottle of Heaven Hill Straight Bourbon on the shelf over there, but this I don't have a 12-year age. That was like $40 or something. And they had Jefferson's, doggone George Dickel, like 10-year age or something. Oh, but they had a whole shelf full and they were selling it. People was lining up. I said, look at them. I bet there's not a bottle left. I can't even remember all the brands. I never heard of some of these. Is Weller, but is Weller common in Louisiana? Oh, yes, it is. We get the Weller green label, the Weller black label, the Weller, well, sometimes the red. What is that? The high proof, the barrel proof? That's a wheated bourbon, right? Weller is like wheated, have a lot of wheat. Comes from Buffalo Trace. Buffalo Trace. Well, the owner of Buffalo Trace lives in New Orleans, Louisiana, so naturally we get the first. We usually get the first issue of everything, but I guess he sends it to his home state first. We do get a little bit of homemade whiskey down here because Sazerac rye is made in New Orleans. I mean, a little bit of it is. They have a little tiny distillery in New Orleans on Poydras Avenue, but I guess that's just for tourists to look at. I've been to the tour twice. I mean, it's very nice to tour it, but like the guy says, this is just a tiny little bit of the Sazerac rye, because he said most of it is made in Kentucky. But that would be like a collector's item if you got the Sazerac rye and it had a sticker or a special indication, the New Orleans distillery. Would it taste different? Probably not. Just people would be buying it. I got the one made in New Orleans. Okay. I would like to find Weller foolproof. Yeah, that comes in sometimes. Not too much. E.H. Taylor single barrel. I saw that today. Yes, last week. And that tall bottle, that skinny bottle, and Rock Hill. Oh yeah. I see that. Rock Hill Farms. I see that quite a bit. I think they got some of it. Yeah. It's like $124, right? I recently found and bought a E.H. Taylor small batch for $50. $50. Am I looking at this right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, you'd be drowning in bourbon in Louisiana. I mean, it's too much. And if you went to Kentucky, it'd be way worse. So yes, $50. Yeah, we get a lot of Weller. It sells out in about 2 days, 1 day. Eagle Rare, it'd be gone. They got it right now, like I said, $36.99, but it'd be gone. It's probably all gone now. They had a whole shelf full of it, but it's all gone. It's all gone. I know the Blanton's gone. That Blanton's was selling as fast as you could look at it. Yeah. Okay, so is Ezra Brooks going to be as good as the Sazerac rye whiskey? Ezra Brooks rye. I really don't know. It's cheaper than Sazerac. Sazerac rye, we can get that for $18.99 around here. It's $18.99. But Ezra Brooks, I got this for $15.99. Can't believe it. But I'm gonna check the prices. Maybe I didn't get a good deal. Okay, well that's it. But I'll be back with some more later. I got a lot of stuff to cover, and it's not really important to cover it. It's just fun to do it on a day off, but I'm not stressed to cover it. All right, thanks everybody. Thanks for watching. Eric Thomas Meadow 75.